Altcoins are regularly doing 5 to 10x gains now. Do you have those diamond hands, or are you selling way too early before you secure those major profits? Hey guys, my name is Sheldon Evans, and I recently just surpassed 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is mind-blowing to me. So thank you so much to every single one of you who have hit that subscribe button and turned on all of those bell notifications. As you know, it really does help this channel grow and succeed, and I do appreciate it more than you know. So thank you so much for that. In addition to that, if you haven't yet, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. We're currently at 37,000 followers on Twitter. With 500k on YouTube, we need to get this number up. Often news breaks much earlier on Twitter, not just from me, but from many other crypto influencers as well. So go ahead and follow them in addition to myself, because you will get news much faster on Twitter than the rest of the internet or on YouTube. So go ahead and do that. Use Twitter to your advantage and make some money. With that being said, today we're going to look at a variety of different altcoins and why and what to look for when looking for huge gainers in the altcoin market. So the first thing we're going to look at is Bitcoin. If you're looking for a 5 to 10, 20x gain, you would have been perfectly fine simply holding Bitcoin, the safest crypto asset, as if you wish, which technically nothing in crypto is perfectly safe, but Bitcoin has been performing incredibly well. If we go back to the March crash of last year, when Bitcoin did crash due to a black swan event, yes, it was something that was out of the ordinary, but if you had purchased at the bottom of that dip, you'd be up over a 20x gain right now, which is mind-blowing to think that you could have simply been holding Bitcoin, but instead you choose to risk your money with smaller altcoins that are doing 5 to 10x gains. But the key here is to holding strong and having those diamond hands. You'll hear this phrase diamond hands all over the internet, all over the cryptoverse, because it really does work, and it is important that you don't sell too early. And I'll illustrate this with a few altcoins that we'll mention in this video, and I'll show you what to look out for and why they're performing well. Now, many of these altcoins that are doing these 5 to 10x gains in the short term often have the potential to do 50 to 100, maybe even 500 or 1000x gains in the long term if you get in early enough. Now, the first altcoin that we're going to be looking at is shopping.io, and we'll take a look at the chart in a second. Now, you guys know that I'm a big fan of this project. I've spoken about them in the past as well. They have a ton of new announcements coming up with centralized exchange listings and more use case for the token, as well as more partnerships, marketing, and onboarding of a CMO. Now, the two things that I want to focus on here are centralized exchange listings and use case for the SPI token. Now, centralized exchange listings recently have been proven to create a lot of buying pressure for a lot of these altcoins. And the reason for this is, as you guys know, the Ethereum fees or the Ethereum gas fees are so incredibly high right now that it provides a hurdle or an obstacle for a lot of people looking to purchase altcoins. They aren't willing to spend the $50 to $100 gas fees to purchase these altcoins, because most retail investors are often purchasing less than $1,000 or $2,000, and spending $50 to $100 on a transaction fee just doesn't seem worth it to them. Even though that potentially could lead to 500 or even 1,000% gain, most people don't realize that and aren't willing to do those transactions. So what happens is, when these altcoins get listed on centralized exchanges, it opens up an opportunity for a ton of new investors to come in and purchase those altcoins without those exorbitantly high fees. So it puts a lot of buy pressure on these altcoins, therefore increasing the value of the coin. And we can see this reflected in the price of these altcoins. So if we look at shopping.io right now, you can see that it's close to $100. It did peak out over $100, I think. Yep, $107 just yesterday. And this is hugely gained since we first mentioned it on this channel. So shopping was first mentioned at around $9 on this channel. So we've done a 10x gain on shopping.io just over a month. So that is a very, very short period of time for something to do a 10x gain. And this could potentially still have another 10, 20, maybe even 30x gain in the tank from here. So let's say you did get in when the video was first published, or when I first spoke about this on this channel, and you're up a 10x right now. If this does another 10x, there's your 100x gain. If it does another 100x, there's your 1000x gain. While that is more unlikely than doing another 10x, it still has a lot of room to grow, because you guys know what this token is used for, what this project is doing, and why they're so important right now. The e-commerce world is so incredibly large and important, and there's so much money in the e-commerce world that it makes perfect sense for people to be purchasing things with their cryptocurrency. So you can purchase on Amazon and eBay, Walmart using crypto. Now, the use case for the SPI token, which I've mentioned before, is if you hold SPI, you get a discount when purchasing from Amazon or eBay or Walmart or a variety of different other online stores. So purchasing directly from those stores with your fiat or your credit card, you're better off purchasing with cryptocurrency because you can get a discount. Now, in addition to this regular discount by holding SPI, they have now enabled SPI as a form of payment on the platform. And in doing so, you get an additional 2% discount on top of your initial discount amount by simply holding SPI. So what shopping.io is doing right now is increasing the use case of the SPI token. And in doing so, you'll see that reflected in the price, with the price increasing in value because more people need to use SPI in order to interact with the platform and get discounts, stake to earn rewards, as well as a variety of different features. One of the major problems with a lot of cryptocurrencies is that they don't provide a true use case for the token that is associated with the project. Many tokens or cryptos are simply created as a sort of novelty added to the cryptocurrency or to the project that is the base project. And often this is just a governance token, which doesn't really do anything. If you think in the long term, governance tokens sure might have a lot of hype around the project that you're investing in. You have a say, just as you would be buying shares in a company, and then you have your say in that company's stake. You can say what sort of direction the company goes in with your stake in that. But in the long term, once the hype dies down around a lot of these projects, that governance token will become quite useless, because do you really want to constantly be voting on things for a platform or for a variety of different platforms and projects? Probably not, and most investors probably won't do that either. So that is why a lot of these projects have to come up with better tokenomics and better ways to increase the value of their token that is associated with the project. And that is why I like shopping.io, is they're constantly working on new ways to add value to the SPI token. And us as investors, that is very important to us. One of the main things, or the reason that we're investing in this, is to make money, right? It's to grow our investment. And by doing this, they're focusing more on the investors and on the token that they're purchasing, therefore also increasing the value of the project that you're invested in. Very, very bullish on this. Tons of things happening, many, many more exchange listings coming up. And why I believe that we're still very early to a lot of these projects is, as I've just said, more exchange listings are still coming up. So we've only got the one, which is Bittrex right now, and Uniswap, but we have more centralized exchange listings coming up. There's a ton of news in the bank for this project. So go ahead, check it out. Check out their governance token, GSPI as well. You can stake SPI to earn GSPI on their staking platform or their staking portal. So there's a lot happening for this. Next, we have news from CyberFi, which has done a 15x on its first IDO stater. So as you guys know, they recently launched their secret project, which was known as Samurai, which is basically a launchpad project. And I've spoken about this in previous videos, that the key to making money in cryptocurrency is to get into projects extremely early. The earlier you can get in, the more gain you will see in the long run, because there are more X's in the tank. The smaller market cap or the smaller project that you can get in, the more potential it has for growth. For something to move from a $1 million to a $10 million market cap is much easier than a project to move from a 10 to 100 million or a 100 million to a $1 billion market cap. So if you can get in really, really early, there's a lot more potential in the tank. And the Stater project has done a 15x on launch. So if you do want to participate in these launch pads, you need the CyberFi token. Now, this again goes back to providing a use case for the token that is associated with your project. Now, as you guys know, CyberFi is not just a launchpad. Samurai is their secret project that is associated with them, that is the launchpad, but it is in fact an automation platform for securing or protecting your liquidity providing to Uniswap pools. So there's automation built into the back end, but in addition to that, they also have a launchpad now, as well as a variety of different things that they'll be implementing very, very soon. Now, I like these full ecosystem style projects for two reasons. Firstly, because once they get one thing right, they can get more and more things right, and they can draw more users in. And secondly, it opens up that project to a ton of audiences. Let's say that this project is launching multiple different launch pads and starting a few new projects. They are now bringing eyes from many people who want to access those IDOs or access those launch pads. So what they have to do is they then first have to purchase the CyberFi token, stake it, and then participate in these IDOs, therefore providing value for the CFI token, increasing its value. And again, we've seen this reflected in the price of CyberFi, which I'll show you in a second. So the first launch didn't go off entirely without a hitch. There was an error in the Samurai contract, but it's how projects handle these errors and handle these issues that really helps solidify my support or my belief in this project. So CyberFi will refund all gas spent on the contract, and all 500 whitelisted users will get $100 worth of Stater for free. And that $100 did a 15x from there. So everyone basically got $1,500 for free. So CyberFi is a project that I really do like right now. They're doing quite incredible things, and they've got strong and good guidance behind them. So I do believe there's a lot of room left in the tank for CyberFi. Still an incredibly small project. If you are looking for future IDOs, go ahead and check out their launchpad. Get yourself some CyberFi, stake it so that you can participate in these IDOs and get those 15x or 100x gains even for yourself. Now, CyberFi is still incredibly small at a $43 million market cap when compared to similar projects like TrustSwap's launchpad, Polkastarter, DuckDAO. There's many of these launchpads that are much higher valued than CyberFi right now. So I do believe there's a lot of room to grow for this project, as they're also not functioning only as a launchpad. Like I said, it's this full ecosystem of products that I really like about this project, and similar projects to it as well. So I'm very, very bullish on this project. Then we have Unimax, which I mentioned on a previous video as well. Unimax is essentially leverage trading on chain on Uniswap. So leverage trading on Uniswap, or leverage trading in general, can be incredibly risky and dangerous. I hope you guys understand this and you know this. If you haven't leverage traded before, read up about it first and first understand what you're getting yourself into before you do this, or before you even try it out. But the reason why I think this is interesting is they've just launched obviously on BSC. So they provide an additional use case for the UMX token, and that is all of the fees then get distributed, or percentage of all of the fees get distributed to stakers of the UMX token, whether those trades are happening on BSC or on Ethereum. So even though you can now trade for way less using BSC or Binance Smart Chain, because most people don't want to be opening longs or leverage trades on Uniswap when the fees are outrageous, like $500, as I mentioned in the previous video, you can now open trades for just a few dollars on BSC, and those fees are then redistributed to UMX stakers. You also have DGN, which is their BSC token, and some of those fees from the BSC or Binance Smart Chain are also distributed to DGen stakers. So UMX as a token, I believe, has a lot of value, super, super undervalued right now, only at a $10 million market cap, tons of room to grow. And the reason that I believe this is, as more and more users start using leverage trading on-chain and moving away from centralized exchanges like Binance and Crypto.com and Kraken and so on, they'll start moving to decentralized exchanges, because why would you not do that when you can basically open leverage trades for the same price as you would on many of these centralized exchanges, and you can simply interact with these smart contracts using your MetaMask wallet. Massive use case here, a project that I'm incredibly bullish on. They recently released their version 1.2 of their interface, which allows you to set stop losses and limit orders and so on, as well as additional pairs that have been listed. And I believe that once they start listing more and more tokens and more pairs that you can leverage on here, they'll start bringing in more eyes and more traffic to this platform with that. We also have Chain Games. Now, Chain Games has been a crazy performer. Now, you guys may have remembered Chain Games from a previous video that I made. Chain Games is currently up 25x from the initial mention on this channel, so massive gains here. And the reason is they're working diligently and making moves in the market. So they've been working feverishly with their Fortnite implementation, and are proud to announce that they'll go live for our testnet on March 31st. So that's just 10 days from now. We will be seeing Fortnite partnering with Chain Games. They also have Call of Duty partnered with Chain Games. They are making massive moves right now, and it is thanks to them getting their marketing in check. Now, as I've said before, the more eyes that they have on their project, the more partners they'll have, the more opportunities that are opened up to these projects. Now, let's talk about selling too soon and missing out on potential gains. So you may have remembered that if you had purchased Chain Games, you would have done a 10x gain from that initial video. But had you just held on a little bit longer, that 10x gain would now be worth a 25x gain. So this is the initial boost. You wait a while and you sell here right before the next boost, but then you see it go down. and you sell because you're scared and you think that this is the end. Had you just held on and waited a little bit until this new partnership, until this new announcement, and you would have enjoyed the fruits of your gains by holding tight, having those diamond hands, and you've seen another 10, 15x gain on your initial gain or your initial investment. So this is why I say what ends up happening is people sell too soon. When your project is in this state, or when your bags are in this state, simply holding steady, going up by 10%, down by 5%, and so on, and just sort of standing in the steady, stagnant state, you get bored because you crave excitement. You want your bags to be pumping when everybody else's bags are pumping. That's just not how the market works. Sometimes your investments will take longer before they pump. They'll take shorter before they pump. Somebody else's bags will pump before yours. You can't be completely diversified into every single cryptocurrency. So if you see something else making gains and you drop your secure bags that you have vetted, that you understand why you invested in for something else, and that then after it has pumped, you invest at the peak and it crashes back down, you end up screwing yourself over and losing out on massive potential gains in the long run. I believe that you should hold steady. We are still so early in this bull run. There are so many more potential gainers to be made from this point forward. Again, at $130 million market cap, this is nothing in the grand scheme of things. If we go over to CoinGecko and we just look at the top 10 cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, over $1 trillion, 200 billion for Ethereum, 38 billion for Cardano. Even if we go into the top 50 cryptocurrencies or even the top 100 cryptocurrencies, we still have over $1 billion market caps regularly seen here. Now, when projects like Chain Games and solid projects like CyberFi, UMX, Shopping.io all have these regular updates, regular improvements, there's no reason that these can't be top 100, top 50, even top 30, 20 cryptocurrencies, because they work diligently, they have working projects, working products that have real world use case. So this is very, very early in the grand scheme of things when we're looking at these altcoins. Now, I encourage you to go and look at other altcoins that are very, very small in market cap that could have potential use case in the future. Many of these have not yet built products that are working. Many of them are still very early stage projects. But even with that being said, this is your opportunity to find those 10 to 100x gainers by looking for those gems. Scroll through CoinGecko, pick a random altcoin that has a low market cap, go and research it, go visit their Telegram, chat to the founders if you can. Often if the altcoins are small enough, the CEOs are very, very active in their Telegram. I mean, even with larger cap cryptocurrencies like Shopping.io and TrustSwap and CyberFi, UMX, these founders will answer you directly. The CEOs will answer you directly in their Telegram if you have questions, or in their Discord if you have questions. So there's no reason that you should be left in the dust or confused as to why you're investing in these projects if you have questions and so on. Go out there, interact with these projects, and understand why you're invested in them in the first place. I also want you guys to be aware of all the scams going on in crypto right now. As you guys know, the obvious ones of the scammers impersonating me in the comments below this video. Never WhatsApp anyone, never Telegram anyone that pretends to be me. I will not contact you directly. That is my promise. So that is not me in the comments. There are ads before and after this video that might promise you additional Ethereum or Bitcoin if you send some to their address. Don't do that. These are common scams. Please don't do these things. But there are more advanced scams that happen. Things that could steal tons of your money, empty your entire wallet in one go. And I want you guys to be careful of this. Firstly, there's the phishing attack that happened on PancakeSwap, where they swapped out their DNS and basically created a fake version of the PancakeSwap site, and Cream Finance as well, which requested users to give their seed phrase to access their wallet or connect their wallet to the site. Remember this, no one will ever ask for your seed phrase when trying to connect to a website. Keep your seed phrase offline, written down on a piece of paper, locked away in a safe. Don't enter it digitally unless you really, really have to. And that is if you've lost your wallet, lost connection to your wallet, and you want to restore your device on a new device, or restore your wallet on a new device. So please be aware of these scams happening everywhere in the cryptoverse. I was actually a victim of a scam recently as well. So you guys might have heard that Nifty Gateway got hacked, an NFT site. Now, essentially what happened was the insiders, or the people who gained access to the Nifty Gateway, used accounts or people's accounts to purchase NFTs using their linked credit and debit cards. Now, the reason that this happened to me is that I have a variety or multiple different NFT sites and accounts. And the reason for this is that these NFT drops usually happen very quickly, and it's quite difficult to purchase these NFTs once you've signed up to their site. So instead, I have multiple accounts with my credit card linked to multiple different accounts. Not all of these accounts had 2FA or two-factor authentication on them. So what it allowed somebody to do is hack my account and then purchase NFTs using my linked credit card. I haven't been refunded for this yet. Maybe we will see something come from this. I don't know. It's a very unfortunate event, but it is partly my fault because I didn't have 2FA activated on all of these accounts. But that also begs the question as to what is happening to centralized exchanges and centralized products like the Nifty Gateway, right? This is a centralized or semi-confined unit that is external to the blockchain. These NFTs are traded on top of Nifty Gateway before you withdraw them to your account and so on. So there's a lot of room for scams and errors to take place here. And with that being said, it's something that I want you to be protected against as well. These hacks happen all the time. I did lose quite a bit of money doing this, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. The thing is that you should be aware that you can also be scammed this way. It happens to everyone. Most people will say, who am I? No one wants to scam me. I'm just a regular investor. The thing is, you aren't being targeted directly. You are just a number on a screen. Many people that get hacked are hacked by automated bots and automated sequences that run hacks across a variety of different computers and networks and so on. You're not being targeted directly. So you don't have to think that you're somebody important or special to be targeted by a hacker. And I want you to be aware of this because most people feel like they are invincible or not vulnerable because they aren't a public figure or aren't an eye or that they think they're a nobody. But to me, you're somebody. So please protect yourself and don't lose your money. We also have some other hacks from Binance Smart Chain, which is the Turtle DEX that rug pulled shortly after launch. And this is one of the risks that come with participating in these smaller projects or smaller launchpad projects and so on that have not been audited or perhaps have been audited incorrectly, and there are room for exploit. Now, this is a common hack that happens regularly, and that is known as the rug pull scam, where essentially what happens is the liquidity provider or the project founder, often who's the one who's providing liquidity, simply pulls that liquidity away from Uniswap and drains the funds, enabling or disabling any trades from happening on Uniswap. And this leaves a lot of people left with a lot of money that is lost. And the unfortunate thing about this is that because it's on decentralized exchanges, there's nothing anybody can do. These guys simply run away with this money and are gone forever. But there is some room for hope because Binance Smart Chain is somewhat centralized. So CZ, the head of Binance or the CEO of Binance, said that they actually helped with a few rug pulls recently too. They can't disclose the details yet. So what usually happens is these hackers run away with the funds onto the centralized exchanges like Binance and then start selling them off and withdrawing it to fiat. But this hasn't happened just yet. And because Binance Smart Chain is somewhat centralized and there's a lot of room for protection and safety, it sort of provides a better use case for centralized exchanges, and it gives a +1 point to centralized exchanges versus decentralized exchanges. But in the grand scheme of things, it does fight against the major use of cryptocurrency, which is decentralization and self-custody. But the thing is, we can't expect most people to have self-custody of their funds. There's a lot of people out there who simply want to invest in cryptocurrency and want a safer route and don't want to have to be responsible for all of their own money if we do want to see a future of worldwide crypto replacing the financial market. Most people don't want to be in complete charge of their own money and will revert to secondary custody of somebody else holding their funds or taking care of them, because it is a lot of responsibility to look after all of your own money. But with that being said, I just want you guys to be very, very safe and don't get scammed and lose any money. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did like the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications, give it a like, and as always, I shall see you in the next video. Cheers.